English Flow Podcast with Kei and Leo.
Hey friends, welcome back to the English Flow Podcast, your cozy corner for learning English naturally. I'm Kei.
And I'm Leo. How are you all doing today? I hope you're feeling good and ready for a new story to enjoy and learn from.
I'm feeling great, Leo. I brewed a big cup of chamomile tea and lit a candle. It's such a peaceful morning.
That sounds lovely. I actually took a slow walk through the park earlier, watched the ducks by the pond. There's something special about quiet moments like that, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's the little things that make life beautiful. And today we have a story that reminds us how small acts of kindness and a little patience can change everything.
Perfect. For all our listeners, whether you're on your way to work, relaxing at home, or learning at night, this story is for you. So get comfy, maybe grab a drink, and let's learn English together through a lovely tale.
Ready when you are.
Today's story is called The Missing Dog. It's about a boy named Sam and his dog Max. It's a story about friendship, worry, kindness, and community.
It's a bit longer than our usual stories, so it's perfect if you want to practice listening for a longer time and learn lots of new words.
And, as always, we'll explain vocabulary, practice useful phrases, and give you tips to speak confidently.
Sam was a cheerful 10-year-old boy who loved spending time outdoors. His best friend was Max, a small brown dog with floppy ears and a wagging tail that never stopped. Every afternoon after school, Sam and Max played in the yard. They played fetch, ran around, and sometimes just rested under the big oak tree in the garden. One Friday, the weather was perfect. The sun shone warmly and a gentle breeze danced through the leaves. Sam opened the front gate to get his soccer ball from the driveway. But he was in a hurry and forgot to close the gate behind him properly. As he bent down to tie his shoelaces, Max suddenly noticed a squirrel darting across the street. Without a moment's hesitation, Max took off after it, barking excitedly. "Max, come back!" Sam shouted, but Max was too fast. He disappeared around the corner. Sam's heart sank. He grabbed his jacket and ran after Max, calling his name loudly. Sam ran to the end of the street, looking everywhere. He checked the park, the nearby woods, and even the busy market square, but there was no sign of Max. He stopped an old man sitting on a bench and asked, "Have you seen a small brown dog with big floppy ears?" The old man shook his head kindly. "Sorry, son, I haven't, but keep looking. Dogs sometimes find their way home." Sam's shoes were dirty, and he was tired, but he didn't want to give up. He stopped at the corner shop and asked the shopkeeper if Max had been seen. "No, I'm sorry, but I hope you find him," said the shopkeeper, giving Sam a warm smile. As the sun began to set, Sam walked back home slowly, feeling worried and sad. His shoes were scuffed, and his heart felt heavy with each step. The lively sounds of the afternoon had faded, replaced by the quiet hum of the approaching evening. He pushed open the front door, and his mother immediately saw the distress on his face. She knelt down, opening her arms wide, and gave him a big hug. "We'll find Max, Sam," she said softly, stroking his hair. "Don't lose hope. Tomorrow we'll make flyers to put up all around the neighborhood. We'll ask everyone to help us look." That night, Sam lay in bed, unable to sleep. He listened carefully, straining to hear any sound of Max's familiar bark or the soft scratching of his paws at the door. But all was quiet. The silence of the house felt empty without Max there. He tossed and turned, replaying the day in his mind, wishing he had closed the gate properly, wishing he had run faster. Eventually, sleep found him, and he drifted into a peaceful dream. He dreamed of Max running happily back to the yard, his tail wagging excitedly, jumping up to lick Sam's face, finally home again. Early the next morning, Sam heard a soft knock at the door. It wasn't the usual loud knock of the postman or a delivery, but a gentle, hopeful sound that made his heart skip a beat. He ran to open it, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and anxiety. As the door swung open, he couldn't believe his eyes. Standing there was Mrs. Green, their kind neighbor from next door, and in her hand she held Max's leash. "Max! Max!" Sam cried, his voice thick with emotion and pure joy. He dropped to his knees, pulling Max into a tight hug, burying his face in Max's soft, familiar fur. Max responded with enthusiastic licks to Sam's face, his tail a blur of happy wagging that seemed to vibrate his whole body. Mrs. Green smiled, a gentle warmth in her eyes. "Good morning, Sam. Looks like someone was an early bird today." She chuckled softly. "I found Max digging in my garden early this morning. He seemed quite busy, searching for something exciting, I suppose. Perhaps an adventurous worm or a forgotten bone. He looked a little disoriented and very hungry, so I gave him some food and fresh water from his bowl. He gobbled it right up," she added, bending down to pat Max's head gently. "He certainly enjoyed his breakfast, and then he decided to take a nice nap on my porch. I thought he might be missing his own bed, so I brought him home." Sam's mother, who had hurried to the door as soon as she heard Sam's joyful shouts, rushed forward, her face a mixture of shock and profound relief. "Oh, Mrs. Green, thank you so much. We were so worried. We hardly slept a wink last night. This is such a relief." She hugged Max tightly, then embraced Mrs. Green warmly, her eyes shining with gratitude, tears threatening to spill. "It's no problem at all, dear," said Mrs. Green, returning the hug with a comforting pat on the back. "Neighbors help neighbors, don't they? We all need a little help sometimes, especially when our furry friends decide to go on an unexpected adventure." She winked conspiratorially at Sam, who was still petting Max as if he might disappear again. Sam, still kneeling with Max, looked up at Mrs. Green, his eyes serious and full of earnest promise. "I promise I'll be super careful from now on, Mrs. Green. I'll always make sure the gate is closed properly. I won't forget again, ever." Mrs. Green laughed, a joyful sound that filled the morning air, making the whole situation feel light and happy. "And tell Max if he wants to visit my garden again, he should knock first. I might even have some more of those delicious dog biscuits ready for him if he asks nicely." Sam's mother laughed too, a sound of pure relief and happiness. Max let out a happy little bark, as if understanding the joke and agreeing to the terms. The heavy tension that had hung over their home the previous night completely vanished, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace, relief, and profound happiness that Max was finally home, safe and sound. Sam was utterly overwhelmed with happiness. Having Max back, safe and sound, was the greatest relief he had ever felt. He couldn't stop hugging his furry friend, burying his face in Max's soft fur, feeling the steady thump of his wagging tail against his leg. Max, for his part, was equally thrilled, showering Sam with wet, affectionate licks and excited barks. The house, which had felt so empty and quiet the night before, was now filled with the joyful sounds of Max's happy panting and the gentle click of his paws on the floor. As soon as they were settled, Sam made a beeline for the kitchen, determined to give Max the biggest, most delicious treat he could find. He rummaged through the dog biscuit jar, picking out the largest, most tempting bone-shaped cookie. Max devoured it in seconds, his tail a blur, clearly signaling his approval. Sam then fetched Max's favorite squeaky toy, a red rubber ball that usually disappeared under the sofa, and spent the next hour throwing it for Max in the living room, laughing as Max chased it with renewed energy. But beyond the immediate joy and play, Sam was also incredibly mindful of his promise. He walked outside to the yard, making a point to check the front gate. He pushed it firmly, heard the satisfying click of the latch, and even gave it an extra tug to make sure it was truly secure. He didn't just close it, he locked it, ensuring that Max wouldn't be able to slip out again, no matter how tempting a squirrel might be. This simple act became a new daily ritual, a constant reminder of the scare and the lesson learned. The incident with Max also marked the beginning of something truly special, a deeper, warmer friendship between Sam and Mrs. Green. Before this, Ms. Green had just been the nice neighbor, someone Sam waved to from time to time, but now she was Max's rescuer, a hero in Sam's eyes. Whenever Sam saw her in her garden, he would stop to chat, asking about her flowers and sharing updates on Max's latest antics. Mrs. Green, with her gentle smile and kind eyes, always seemed genuinely interested. Sometimes, when Sam's mom had to work late, or when Sam had an after-school activity that meant he wouldn't be home right away, Mrs. Green would offer to look after Max. She knew how much Max loved her garden, and she didn't mind him digging a little, especially if he found a particularly interesting spot. Max seemed to enjoy these visits too, often waiting by the fence that separated their yards, hoping for Mrs. Green to appear. It was a wonderful arrangement that brought peace of mind to Sam and his mother and extra joy to Max. Through this whole experience, Sam learned a truly important lesson, one that stayed with him long after the initial relief faded. He realized that kindness could come from the most unexpected places. Mrs. Green, who wasn't a close family friend or a relative, had gone out of her way to help him when he was in trouble. She didn't have to take Max in, or feed him, or bring him home, but she did, simply out of neighborly care and compassion. It made Sam think about how he could be kinder and more observant to those around him too. He also learned about the power of patience and hope. When Max was missing, Sam felt a knot of worry in his stomach, and for a while, he thought Max might never come back. But his mother's calm reassurance, the old man's kind words, and the shopkeeper's sympathetic smile, along with his own determination to keep looking, had kept a tiny flame of hope alive. And in the end, that hope, combined with Mrs. Green's timely kindness, had made all the difference. It wasn't about giving up when things got tough, but holding on, believing that things could get better, and being open to help from others. Sam was not just happy to have Max home, he was a little bit wiser too. He understood that life was full of challenges, but also full of good people ready to lend a hand. And sometimes, it was in those moments of worry and uncertainty that you discovered the true strength of friendship and community. Max's adventure had brought them closer to their neighbor and had taught Sam that small acts of care and a hopeful heart truly can change everything. It was a lesson he carried with him, a precious reminder of how powerful kindness and patience could be. Let's look closer at some words and phrases from the story so you can really understand them and use them yourself.
First up, we have yard. In the story, Sam and Max played in the yard. A yard is a garden or an open space outside a house, usually covered with grass.
Next, floppy ears. This describes Max's ears. Floppy ears are ears that hang loosely and move easily, not standing up straight.
When Mrs. Green brought Max home, she was holding his leash. A leash is a strap or a rope, usually made of leather or nylon, used to control a dog or other animal, often attached to a collar.
Sam's mother suggested they make flyers. Flyers are small papers with information on them that you share with people, often to announce something or ask for help, like in this story when they wanted to find Max.
Mrs. Green found Max digging in her garden. Digging is when an animal, like a dog, or a person moves soil, dirt, or sand with their paws, claws, or hands.
And of course, Mrs. Green is a neighbor. A neighbor is someone who lives near you, often in the house next door or on the same street.
Two important themes in our story are kindness and patience. Kindness means being nice, friendly, and helpful to others, showing care and generosity.
And patience is the ability to wait calmly without getting annoyed or worried, even when things are difficult or take a long time. It's about not giving up easily. Now, let's move on to some useful phrases from the story that you can practice using in your own conversations. These are great to add to your everyday English.
The first one is a question Sam asked, "Have you seen my dog?" This is a very direct and useful way to ask if someone has seen something or someone you're looking for. You can use it to ask about anything. Have you seen my keys? Or have you seen my friend?
Then we have, I forgot to close the gate. This phrase is perfect for admitting a mistake or explaining why something happened. You can use it for many situations like, I forgot to turn off the lights or I forgot to send the email.
Another useful phrase from the story is, "We'll make flyers tomorrow." This shows a plan for the future. You can use this structure for any future action. We'll go to the park tomorrow, or we'll study English later.
And a really lovely phrase from Mrs. Green. We all need a little help sometimes. This is a beautiful way to acknowledge that everyone needs support now and then, and it's okay to ask for or give help.
Finally, Mrs. Green's playful line, "Tell Max to knock first." This is a humorous way to suggest someone should ask permission. You can adapt it to different fun situations, like tell your brother to knock first.
Now, it's your turn to practice. Try saying each of these phrases slowly and clearly. Repeat them out loud a few times until you feel comfortable.
And for an extra challenge, try telling the story of the missing dog in your own words. This is an excellent way to practice your speaking skills and remember new vocabulary and phrases. Don't worry about being perfect, just try your best.
We hope you enjoyed this longer, heartwarming story.
Remember, every day brings a chance to be kind and patient, just like Sam and Mrs. Green.
Keep practicing your English by listening, repeating, and telling stories.
Thanks so much for spending this time with us. We're proud of your progress.
See you next time on the English Flow podcast. Take care and stay kind.
Bye, everyone.